Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and thanks for joining us for another episode of FPL Fix. Game week 34 is finally finished following Brentford beating Forest 2-0, so it's time to go into the final stretch, and with just 4 game weeks left and confirmation there's no more doubles or blanks left this season, it's an even playing field for the final 4 weeks and there's still time to make or break your season. My name's James and here with me as usual is Patrick.
Hi everyone, in this episode we'll take a quick look back at how our teams performed last week before we move on to look at the most transferred players, who to target and our team selection for game week 35. Just a reminder that if you find this video useful, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Now let's get started. For game week 34 I got green arrow again. I finished with 75 points, the use of the free hit chip clearly paid off. At the back, Ainouri and Sessegnon both got a massive 11 points, while Cucurella and Pope added a respectable 6 points each. In midfield, Bowen impressed with 10 points and Salah contributed 8. Although Fernandes and Barnes underperformed slightly with 4 and 3 points respectively, the impact was offset by stronger performers. Up front, Captain Isak justified having the armband with a solid 12 points. Wood and Mbeumo were the only true disappointments. They combined for 4 points. Overall, I'm happy with my free hit. How did your team do?
Yeah, fair play, that's not a bad result at all. Well, I only had 3 points less than you myself and picked up a green arrow, so with no chips active, I really can't complain at all. To start with, Ainouri and my double Newcastle defence combined for a huge 30 points. Kirkes was unlucky too, with Bournemouth losing their clean sheet in the 97th minute after they were incorrectly reduced to 10 men. Robinson not being in the squad ended up working out alright for me. Fulham lost their clean sheet early and Mbeumo came on for me, but only picked up 2 points himself. On to the rest of the midfield, and I was let down by Palmer and Minter. Palmer was poor again, and Minter didn't even start for Brighton. He came on and had chances, but didn't produce the goods. Bowen and Salah were both great. Bowen picked up 2 assists, Salah scored, and they both picked up bonus points. In strike, and Isak did score, but definitely could have had more against the 10-man Ipswich team. And finally Chris Wood, who was unimpressive against Brentford last night. So yeah, not the best score in the world, but I'm happy with another green arrow.
So that's how our team's gone last week. Now let's look ahead to game week 35, and we'll kick off with the most transferred players. Starting with the players being sold, and it's not surprising to see Rashford and Robinson given their recent injuries. Palmer's high on this list too. James, are you still backing him?
Well, despite all the hype around his poor form, Palmer's still owned by over 35% of managers, but it's not a shock to see that more of his owners are losing faith now, me included actually, and it won't be long until he leaves my team. Evanilson is another really interesting one. He's been sold because of the red card he received in the last game, however the ban has been successfully appealed and he's now back for the next match and beyond.
Saka is the last player on this list. He's mostly being sold because he's a minute's risk for 35 because of the PSG second leg. And then he also has a tough matchup against Liverpool in 36.
Yeah, I agree. I know he's a lot of money, but if you can afford to bench him, then it might be worth it. He's a good pick for the last 2 weeks and could even be the best differential captain for game week 38. So if you can save your transfers and bench him without doing too much damage to your team, then that's what I'd be doing.
Okay, now let's focus on the most bought players. Mbeumo tops the list, and it's not a surprise to see him there. He didn't return against Forest, but he's been great lately and he has a really high ceiling. Cunha is next, and following his massive 15-pointer, it's not a shock the managers are buying him. However, it does seem a bit of a knee-jerk reaction though, as Wolves are up against Man City next, who have really improved defensively lately.
Yeah, and speaking of City's defence, Gvardiol is next, and he showed his attacking prowess in the FA Cup semi-final, even in his centre-back role. His teammate Marmoush is next, and he has been locked in the team since the Haaland injury. It will be interesting to see when Haaland is brought back into the side how much it does affect Marmoush's minutes. Wissa's the last name on this list, and he's a great option. He scored again against Nottingham Forest, and Brentford still have decent fixtures. For only 6.6 million, he's incredible value.
So those are the big movers in the market this week. Let's see how many of them feature in the players to target section. As you can see on screen, the top teams to target now are Man City, Everton, Brentford and Nottingham Forest.
Looking at the players to target, and we'll start with the keepers, Sells and Pickford are the best options with their form and fixtures in mind. Edison could be great, but hasn't featured again following his injury, and does take up a City slot, which isn't ideal if Haaland does return soon.
Yeah, if Haaland is likely to start in game week 36 against Southampton, he will definitely be a target for most managers. Moving on to defenders, I think Vardy was the best pick. We saw him as one of the top transfers in, and I can see him doing well with upcoming fixtures, and with Man City still needing points in the league, he's a great option. Milinkovic is a solid pick, and then an Everton defender like Michaelenko or Bryan could also pay off.
In midfield, we've got Mbeumo as top, so we agree with the managers transferring him in, but Bowen is definitely in contention as well. He was on back-to-back 9-pointers, but was just given an extra bonus point, so up to 10 for last week, and he's playing against Spurs, who are mostly focused on the Europa League now, so he could be a great option. KDB is mostly a fairy tale pick. We all know what he's capable of, and the massive score he produced against Wolves a couple of seasons ago, so he might be a nice punt to end the season with.
Wood and Wissa are the top two strikers. They're both nailed on for minutes, both in great form, but Wood just takes the top spot given that he's on penalties. Mamouche has been locked for minutes lately and could be great with the next fixtures, but there's a slight minutes doubt with Pep Roulette and Haaland due to return back soon.
Okay, now it's time to reveal our teams and show how we're lining up for Game Week 35. Why don't you start things off, Patrick?
Thanks, James. For Game Week 35, I've gone with a team that leans heavily on strong home fixtures. Martinez is in goal with a decent matchup against Fulham. At the back, I've gone Munoz, Gvardiol and Saliba, all playing at home, which gives me confidence in potential clean sheets. My midfield includes Salah, who's always a threat, along with Rodgers, O'Reilly and Murphy. I'm backing Isak as captain against Brighton, hoping he continues his good form. And he's joined by Mateta and Mamouche, who both have promising home games. I've already used all my chips, so I'm relying on this team to deliver as we head into the final stretch. How's your team set up?
For this week, in goal, I'm starting Edison. Then I've got Munoz, Burn and Robinson in defence. I am tempted to bring in Kirkes, with Arsenal likely to heavily rotate, but he's on the bench for me at the moment, along with Aït-Nouri, who has a tough match against City. In midfield, and I've already got Mbeumo and Bowen, so I'm pleased I don't have to think about either of them this week. But I haven't given either the armband. I've also got Salah, and even though I expect him to do well, I'm not planning on giving him the armband either. Palmer still shows in my team, but he will be transferred out before the deadline. I don't care that he finally got a return in Europe last night with an assist for Jackson. He's done for me, and at the moment, I think I'm bringing in Everton's Doucouré. He has great fixtures coming up, and the move sets me up with the budget to get Haaland back if he's fit next week. Isak, Wood and Marmouche are my strikers. Isak is my captain at the moment. I might still change it before the deadline if I have a gut feeling, but I think he looks a great pick for this week. Wood's form has dropped off slightly, but he can definitely still return against Palace, who'll be focused on the FA Cup final now. And Marmouche is my last pick. He's a great captaincy shout, but he's not been prolific for me so far this season, and with City playing in the first match, I don't want to have to watch the rest of the weekend games behind the sofa if he was to blank. Okay, and that's everything from us this week. Just a heads up, the deadline is today at 6:30pm UK time, so don't leave your transfers too late and make sure you set your team by then.
Just a reminder that if you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel for more FPL content every week. And make sure you're following us on X at Weekend Fix for last minute updates and tips as we get closer to the deadline.
Thanks everyone, good luck for the upcoming game week and we'll see you next time.